It's time for the midweek review.
Saying for 4 years you're going to release your taxes. You're not paying your taxes, or you're paying taxes that are so low. When last
for 3 years. It started before I even got elected. They spied on my campaign. No president should ever have to go through what I went through. Let me just say this. Mueller and 18 angry Democrats and FBI agents all over the place spent $48 million. They went through everything, including my tax returns, and they found absolutely no collusion and nothing wrong. $48 million. I guarantee you, if I spent $1 million on you, Joe, I could find plenty wrong. Because the kind of things that you've done and the kind of monies that your family has taken, I mean, your brother made money in Iraq, millions of dollars. Your other brother made a fortune, and it's all through you, Joe. And they say you get some of it, and you do live very well. You have houses all over the place. You live very well.
Welcome to the midweek review. Glad to have you guys here on this Thursday. It's a special edition. You guys know we had the debate tonight, as you guys can see through that video clip there. President Trump actually taking Joe Biden to the cleaners. Fantastic. I am Yanni, guys. Glad to have you guys here October 22nd, 2020. We're going to move forward, and we're going to continue to make sure that we distribute the news that everyone knows and understands that we do have a country that's at the peril of and at risk of being lost. So let's get to everything we need to do. So I look at that clip right there, and President Trump was so disciplined last night. People want to talk about the wild bull in a china shop that's breaking everything. There's dishes all over the place. There are pictures that were on the wall. These pictures are demolished now because President Trump was in the place. But he was a bull in the china shop last night. But that china shop was preserved, and everything that was in that china shop was preserved for you, for me, for us to look at. And that what we looked at was Joe Biden getting owned. Joe Biden having no policy. Joe Biden having no legs to stand on. And once again, for the last time, Joe Biden lying and lying and lying. Troping out and pulling out these lies about what Trump said about soldiers. Pulling out and lying up. You know what's so funny though? I'm so amazing they did not bring up Charlottesville last night. But still, tonight. But still, we still had the whole racial narrative come up. Why is this racial narrative coming up in the presidential debates? Can you guys tell me, please? The moderators know. And if I was a moderator, if I was here tonight, I would have been like, I'm not saying this. I'm not doing this. But they can't do this. And even though I'm sure tomorrow people are going to be talking about, oh, she was impartial and this and that, I'm sure she did okay. She did an okay job. But she still was interrupting the president, I saw. She still was giving Joe Biden more time to talk. And she still was, in a sense, to me, bringing up subjects and topics that the American people really don't care about. Yes, we care about getting rid of COVID-19, but COVID-19 is going to leave when it's supposed to. And so, but I want to get to Amnesty Joe. Joe Biden that wants to give the whole country away, you know what I'm saying, to where we all become coupon clippers, right? You're there, you are in line, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. You're fantastic. Your life is great. Your life is amazing. 5 years passed under a Joe Biden plan, like 50 Cent said. 50 Cent said he was 50 Cent. He don't want to become 20 Cent. Imagine 62 cents out of every single dollar being taken out of your money. You don't know where it goes. They say it's going to be allocated to somewhere in the government. How can you trust that? After Mueller, after, Comey, the whole stroke page. Guys, we have the stuff. It's in public domain now. We also know that President Trump was set up. So if President Trump was set up, and we know this in the public domain, what are we going to do about it, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to vote these bums out of office. But when Joe said this here, and he was talking about the kids in cages and stuff like that. We'll talk about that later. But he dropped the A word. And it wasn't ass like a donkey. We're not talking about that. He dropped the amnesty word. That means people who are in this country illegally, that means they came here in the country illegally, and we're giving them a pass or a pathway to citizenship after they broke the law. Look, American citizens, look at me. Look at me, American citizens. You break a law, whether it's a misdemeanor, whether it's a felony or something like that, they're going to either throw you in jail, they're going to hit you with penalties, they're going to put you on probation. This is what happens in the United States of America. It's called laws. How come when people come from other parts of the world, they can never abide by our laws? And what we do, we bend over like pretzels. We're like freaking Plastic Man, turning all types of shapes and contorting ourselves to try to bend and flex with somebody in the world that they don't really care for us. If we came to their countries, the standard would be the same. But before we move on, though, you can also find episodes of the Midweek Review over at the America's Voice over on SoundCloud. You can find us there right there too, and it's awesome. But tonight, Trump was classy. Trump was in control. Trump was poised, and he was measured. And at the same time, too, I could almost say that President Trump's timing tonight was almost perfect in a sense, right? The way Mike Pence describe things, and the way Mike Pence communicates is a little different for Trump. That's fine. But still, their communication styles are still both effective. Is it drawing you in? The most important thing is their substance, is there content in what you're saying. I want to know what you're saying. I want to believe what you're saying. But if you have a history like 47 years, and I applaud President Trump too. President Trump? Clap for Trump. Clap for Trump, everybody. Everybody clapping? You guys clapping yet? I want to applaud him for staying on task and staying on message, and so good stuff. And here's the thing that irritated me about that, because this line here, I think, is one of the lines that sank Joe Biden tonight. Video clip number 1.
So why should voters trust you with an immigration overhaul now?
Because we made a mistake. It took too long to get it right. It took too long to get it right. I'll be president of the United States, not vice president of the United States. And the fact is, I've made it very clear. Within 100 days, I'm going to send to the United States Congress a pathway to citizenship for over 11 million undocumented people. And all of those so-called dreamers, those DACA kids, they're going to be immediately certified again to be able to stay in this country and put on a path to citizenship. The idea that they are being sent home by this guy, and they want to do that, is they've gone to a country they've never seen before. I can imagine you're 5 years old, your parents are taking you across the Rio Grande River, and it's illegal. And you say, oh no, Mom, leave me here. I'm not going to go with you. They've been here. Many of them are model citizens. Over 20,000 of them are first responders out there taking care of people during this crisis. We owe them. We owe them.
Kristen, he had 8 years to do what he said he was going to do. And I've changed without having a specific. We got rid of catch and release. We got rid of a lot of horrible things that they put in and that they lived with. But he had 8 years he was vice president.
So the cat's out the bag. We know that Joe Biden wants amnesty. The cat's out the bag. We know that Joe Biden wants to let everyone flood into the country because, trust me, it is going to become a magnet in this country. How about foreign deals here? Joe Biden, in the stuff that he's doing, and I love when people say, well, my son has done nothing wrong. He hasn't done anything, and he's pleading with a heartbeat to everyone, and everyone's, please. Well, President Trump said, you need to come clean. In fact, I applaud Trump once again, for the measure of pushing him. Moderators should be pushing people. The journalists should be pushing people. People who are in the trenches looking to get the truth of the American people, that our freedom of speech and press will be protected. The press is no longer the press. The press is the enemy. Donald Trump challenges Joe Biden over at Breitbart to come clean on family foreign deals. President Donald Trump on Thursday during the final presidential debate urged former Vice President Joe Biden to come clean on the details of his family's lucrative deals with foreign countries while he was in office. You were getting a lot of money from Russia. They were paying you a lot of money and probably still are, Trump said, referring to the Senate report of a 3.5 million wire transfer. Not $3.5, not 3.5 thousand, okay? We're talking about 3.5 million wire transfer from the former Moscow wife from Russia, Layina Baturina, to Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden's private firm Equity. Now, guys, here's the thing. Let's shape this for you real quick. Now, if I'm the vice president of the United States of America, I have a son that is a derelict and that is a drug dealer or a drug user. He smoked all his drugs up, but he was a drug user. And he's using his drugs. And he's consuming these drugs on a high rate, just like taking like pills, and he's getting in trouble. He's making problems. And he goes and gets a job making up to $180,000 a month. Guys, that's a problem. Can I get that job? I keep pleading with America. America, please, look. Give me the job. I'll take it. I'll take the money. Now, if there's criminal cases and stuff like that, I don't want that. But give me a job. And so, if it was him, Hunter, sir, I'd like to apply for a job at your nice Burisma. What's that called? Burisma. Oh yeah, Mr. Hunter. What's your last name? Biden. Oh sure. Let's play this game right here. Hunter's last name is Jackson, and he looks like 50 Cent, right? He comes in, oh yeah, I'm applying for this job at Burisma. Oh, how are you doing, sir? What's your name? My name is Hunter Jackson. Oh, I'm sorry, there's nothing available for you right now. That's exactly what happens to normal people in America. So Joe Biden is definitely caught with his hand in his cookie jar, and he lied. We're going to talk about the many lies and the whoppers that he told last night too as well. Let's continue. So here's the thing about me too. You know how you get those one-liners? I'm gonna get a punchline. I'm gonna hit him good. You know, there's not red states and blue states. There's just America. You know, that's a good thing under those terms. But here's the truth, Joe Biden. There are red states and there are blue states. The red states are doing comparably better than a blue state. I'm gonna be honest with you. They just are. You know, their lockdowns, or they unlock their countries or their states and their cities for the most part. And yeah, they have coronavirus under control. They did have some spikes in Florida, but that's okay. The blue states are using draconian measures, still locking down what their want to be commander-in-chief is doing, want you to have a mask on. And that is the message that Joe Biden is peddling to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Hear what I'm saying. He's peddling a message of non-freedoms. He's peddling a message of lockdowns. He's peddling a message of we're going to come out when it's safe. Which I'm not buying that, because I can guarantee you if he won on November 3rd, all the stuff about lockdowns, that stuff will go away. If they'll get on with the radical Green Deal agenda, don't doubt me on this one. Here's the problem though, okay? In the states too. Let's talk about the states that have problems with blue states, because we want to be substance, we want to give facts, we want to give something to point to. So a lot of times they are pointing to facts that are not real, and lots of times they dissolve almost like salt or water and salt soluble, right? But the states like Baltimore, for instance. How about Chicago, Philadelphia, New Jersey? How about those states? And Detroit, on and on and on. And so we don't want to fall for that crap. We're not going to fall for it, okay? But who built the cages? This was another brilliant one. Donald Trump hit him again. Tonight, Donald Trump in focus, in control, and you have to be in control, especially when it's the last, debate. Statistics show, I heard someone was talking about this the other day, that normally presidential debates, and we have Barack Obama, the first debate that he did in 2012, but that great about the debate. The incumbents, they have those, George W. Bush's too as well. They don't do good. They're in the groove of the presidency. They're not in campaign mode. They come out later on, but it's not there. Something that drives you. But once for all, fake news complex. We want to talk to you guys though real quick here. You guys have an issue because you guys have been pushing a narrative about the cages for a long, long time. I'm glad that Donald Trump has his platform to use, and not just that, he wants to make sure that everyone is understanding that the lies that you guys are peddling, they are just that. There are lies. And if you don't want to face the truth about the lies you're peddling, well, you probably have a problem too as well. But those cages, I want to get off into a video clip number 2 in a second here. But on the cage situation, Trump played the card well. Okay? I'm going to start right there and say that. All right? Once and for all, the fake news, the complex, everyone inflating things, the inflation of our country, they've truly inflated our country. Well, they've been playing pin the tail on our country. Well, Trump's going to play pin the tail on Joe Biden, and he's the donkey, okay? And the 500 family crap, guys, he was pushing that, and for a while I was like, okay. And he kept pushing it, and kept like, who cares, okay? They broke the country. Video clip number 3, let's start right there, please.
Let people in, but they have to come in legally, and they come in through
But
merit.
how will you reunite these kids with their families,
Let me just tell you,
Mr.
they
President?
built cages. They used to say, I built a cage newspaper, and it was a picture of these horrible cages, and they said, look at these cages. President Trump built them, and then it was determined they were built in 2014. That was him.
Do you have a
built
plan to
cages. They come over through cartels and through coyotes and through gangs.
Vice President
These
Biden.
500 plus kids came with parents to make it a disincentive to come to begin with. Real tough. We're really strong. And guess what? They cannot. It's not coyotes didn't bring them over. Their parents were with.
They did it. We changed the policy.
Your response?
We did not.
They built the
separate
cages.
They.
Who built the cages, Joe?
Let's talk about what
Who
we're
built the
talking about.
cages,
Let's
Joe?
talk about what we're talking about. Kids were ripped from their arms and separated, and now they cannot find over 500 of sets of those parents.
They're in facilities that were so clean.
But some
and
of
have
them
gotten
haven't been
such
reunited
But
with their
just ask
families.
one question. Who built the cages? I'd love you to ask him that. Who built the cages?
Let me ask about your immigration
So now
policy.
you guys know who built the cages. It wasn't Donald Trump. 2014, in fact, the low information voters out there, they don't look for information. They don't look for the facts. They don't care about the facts. All they do is care about their candidate. And so we have it there. How about fracking, for instance? You know, this reminds me of when George Bush, the first George Bush, when he came into office, and this is what broke George W. Bush. George Bush. Read my lips. You guys remember that? No new taxes. Read my lips. No new taxes. Well, Joe Biden's the same way on fracking. He's out here now talking about he's not a fan of banning fracking. Him and Kamala too as well. And that's so funny because if he would have picked somebody else, they probably would have been opposed to fracking. But no, both these two birds of a feather flock together, die together, shot together, eat together, they go to jail together. Put these guys in striped suits, okay? Just drape them up. And do they have a jailhouse cologne? Spray that in the air too, by the way. Video clip number 4, please. We're going to see Joe Biden lying straight on tape. And he told, put it on the website. Trump did that just tonight. It's on the website tonight, guys. He put the tape on there. Video clip number 4.
Economy, get rid of your oil industry. You want... And what about fracking?
All right,
Now
let me allow
fracking.
Vice President Biden to
I
respond.
never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did. Show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
Put it on the website. The fact of the matter is
Show
he's
the list.
flat lying.
Would you rule out banning fracking?
I do rule out banning fracking because the answer, we need other industries to transition to get to ultimately a complete zero emissions by 2025.
All right,
Now we have to
let me
ask him
allow
about
Vice
fracking.
President Biden to
I
respond.
never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did. Show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
Put it on the website. The fact of the matter is
Show
he's
the list.
flat lying.
Would you rule out banning fracking?
I do rule out banning fracking because the answer, we need other industries.
He was against fracking. He said it. I will show that to you tomorrow. I am against fracking. Until he got the nomination, went to Pennsylvania, then he said, but you know what, Pennsylvania? He'll be against it very soon because his party is totally
What
against it.
about, say, stopping fracking and stopping new pipe?
I am not banning fracking, no matter how many.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
I am not banning fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me. No new fracking. No matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me.
We are going to get rid of fossil fuels.
No matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated.
So, caught red-handed. Now, I was talking to one of my daughters. No, I was talking to my wife. I was like, now is that Kamala Harris or is that an imposter? Do we have doppelgangers going on somewhere around here? What a joke! But ain't this great, guys? We're having a great time, and so I want to continue to dissect these guys here in a second. But I want to talk about the whistleblower too as well. Tony Bobulinski. This guy pops out of nowhere, and I want you guys to understand the contrast between the whistleblowers from the Ukraine hoax. We'll call that the hoax, right? Everyone in that situation where they were impeaching the president of the United States of America, they were anonymous. How are you going to face your accuser? You have the right to face your accuser. If your accuser is anonymous, how can you rebut or go and strike against or go against the grain of what this person is saying about you if they're trying to defame your character? You can't. It's like shooting bullets in the dark, hoping to hit something. You won't hit anything. So I look at the contrast between the two. People try to say that, oh, well, no big deal here. And it's so funny because the guy comes out, and if it was President Trump, leaflets would have been dropping all through cities everywhere across America. Donald Trump, we got the scam, the smoking gun, someone's going to ID him. That doesn't happen with Joe Biden. Says right here, and this is over at the New York Post, and they're doing a fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen. Hunter Biden's ex-partner, Tony Bobulinski. Joe Biden is a liar, and here's the proof. Right here, it says that the U.S. Navy veteran said that he introduced the former Veep. He was introduced to him on May 2nd, 2017 by Hunter Biden and the lawmaker's brother, Jim Biden, before the Global Milken Conference in Beverly Hills, California. Cut number 5 is going to tell it all.
My name is Tony Bobulinski. I served as a lieutenant in the United States Navy with high security clearance in dealings with the Chinese. I have heard Joe Biden say that he's never discussed business with Hunter. That is false. I have firsthand knowledge about this because I directly dealt with the Biden family, including Joe Biden. Here are the facts I know, and everything I'm saying is corroborated by emails, WhatsApp chats, agreements, documents, and other evidence. For record, 3 phones that spanned the years 2015 through 2018. These phones have never been held by anybody else besides myself. I've never been political. The few contributions I have made have been to Democrats' request to become CEO of the entity to be called Sinohawk. Sino representing the Chinese side, Hawk representing Hunter Biden's brother Bo's favorite animal. And between February and May 2017, we exchanged numerous emails, documents, and WhatsApp messages concerning Sinohawk and its potential business. At my approximately hour-long meeting with Joe that night, we discussed the Biden's history, the Biden's family business plans with the Chinese, with which he was plainly familiar, at least at a high level. After that meeting, I had numerous communications with Hunter, Walker, Gillier, and Jim Biden, which says 10% held by H for the big guy. In that email, there's no question that H stands for Hunter, big guy for his father.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Biden.
This is what a real whistleblower looks like. He looks like this guy right here. I'm going to tell you. Here are the characteristics. It's raw. It's sporadic. He's off the cuff. He also has a reputation. He served our country. If they want to draw them, we're gonna drum out Vindman and all these guys, and they're men of honor. They're only men of honor when they're Democrats. Guys, look here. I am not a Republican or a Democrat. I am a conservative, a fiscal conservative, a responsible conservative. I don't play with those labels. I look at common sense and think outside the box, and I move forward, and every single American should. But it's a stark contrast. It can't be refuted. If you look at the Democrat, they'll prop up these guys as a whistleblower. It's a total joke under the name of anonymous. Sure, snakes, the S is sound for snakes. But has the evidence, these phones, he has the phones there. He's putting them down for you guys to see. He saw that. You saw what he said. And no one has touched them but him, so they're not compromised. But we'll see what's on there. But he's passing stuff to the FBI, And so it's shocking how quiet the media is about this, ladies and gentlemen. As we get deeper into the blows of battle, the election season begins to wind up. It's a full onslaught and effort underway. Yes, the Hollywood, they're participating. All those guys. Everyone's participating to try to cover Twitter. We'll get to them too. Oh my gosh, we'll get to them. But I want to take a break real quick. We're going to get back and we're going to sock these guys right in the mouth because they deserve it on the Midweek Review. Let's go.
But I won't resort to calling names today. When it comes to fighting the libs, he's in the game 100%. But these people are crazy. Shooting it straight to the Americans. 100% responsibility, 100% accountability. How come evil is able to stand? Media's programming you to believe a conservative unhinged. It's all about race relations and, we got to have this conversation. We don't have to have this conversation. The killer of groupthink, the American's voice, and Yanni. Sundays at 10 a.m. Don't miss it.
Welcome back, guys, to the Midweek Review. Glad to have you guys here on debate night, the final debate of 2020 for the presidential office, or that space, that placard. But like I was saying before we left, we're getting deeper and deeper into the season. The season's about to wrap up. It's like a nice comfy sweater. Then we'll start talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff. Isn't that great? The last debate, everyone's like, yay! They're all excited, spinning in circles. It's amazing. But that onslaught is on the way. And I talk about the onslaught because Hollywood, they've always leaned left or they're far left. And Donald Trump has actually drawn that out of Hollywood. They're participating. They're ready to steal the African-American vote. That's what they want. They want that African-American vote, which is ticking up pretty high as I was looking at some numbers the other day. And what they try to do, or they want to get that gullible, that weak-minded individual that will fall for the Jedi mind trick. Those weak Jedi mind trick recipients. They pull up with a little piece of paper and stuff like that. Once your brain has been taken over by Thanos and his rogue spawn of evil instruments to take the country over, the only ones who are left to save the world, you guys know, is woke Hollywood from the multifaceted demon beast that is looking to slay us and our rights. These celebrities in Hollywood are attempting to steal our vote under the guise of entertainment. Yes, that's what they always do. Under entertainment. Yes, you're the fool, you foolish Americans, hoping that you fall for the banana in the tailpipe like Beverly Hills Cop. You guys remember that, right? They want you to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Right up in there. Give it to them.
Bananas. How much are they?
Well, the buffet plate is $12.50. You get peaches, plums, oranges, and bananas.
Well, all I need is a couple of bananas.
Shh. Go ahead, take those bananas.
Hey. Pudding or smooth?
Can I get some extra mayo?
Morning, officers. What y'all, the second team?
We're the first team.
Yeah, we're not gonna fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
It should be more natural, brother. It should flow out like this. Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. See, that's more natural for us. You've been hanging out with this dude too long.
They assume that the American people, they're going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I think Mr. Biden and Ms. Harris, you've seen this movie. We've seen this movie before. In fact, the real movie, the project that you're working on in Hollywood is better than that movie right there. You got Twitter, you have Facebook, you have Washington, D.C., and we go on and on and on. And first of all, it starts off like Washington Squares. I'm going to share something else with you guys too. This is so much fun because while the world is at the point of the brink of being burned up, literally by Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and the like, and if nothing to see here. You know that's funny. That wasn't brought up last night either. They want to bring up the Proud Boys and racism and all this crap. In fact, no, white supremacism or whatever, white supremacists, whatever. But they don't want to deal with the true facts. Okay, but it was like a whole lot of Hollywood scares that it like metamorphed into the Brady Bunch. And nothing of substance. You have Kamala Harris right there in the middle. Okay? I don't think the American people deserves this type of treatment. I think the American people deserve substance. I believe you deserve substance, and rightfully so. So this is what we're dealing with, guys. Let's face it, the Democrats are crying out for help. They're like that 7-year-old that just can't help, he has a problem with matches, he's an arsonist by nature, he just wants to burn. He's burned one house down. He wants to burn the house down again, and that's what they want to do. And it struggles. He's in the bed at nighttime, pulling the covers over himself. It's in the forefront of his mind. That's him. Video clip number 6, please. This is what they're doing right here. We're gonna pull out the Avengers to save America. Let's go.
All right, let's bring in our first Avenger, Zoe Saldana. Zoe, how are you? Where are you zooming in from today?
I am in Los Angeles. Warm weather.
Just outside the room. Yeah, he's great. He's great. Him and I have been, he might be getting a little sick of me.
Rudd, how has life been during quarantine? How are you doing, man?
It's awful everywhere.
Yeah,
I gotta say, so happy you're.
It's from my role. I'm actually in Detroit right now, in the greater.
Today is her birthday. Yep.
It is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the next Vice President of the United States of America is here, Kamala Harris. Yay. Wow.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Hi.
I can hear it. I hear it in my heart.
Let's do it. Happy birthday to you.
And you can have the
I will take it. It was good. I'll take it.
Thank you for fighting for all of us and for fighting for everyone's voice in this country. We have a shooting event.
I'm like a kid right now. It matters whether you are saving the universe from Thanos or fighting for the soul of our nation. But then those characters suit up, and they suit up when it counts, and they are just full of power. About the Avengers, by the way, they just think I'm just like wonking out on this. Wonking out on this. Wonking out on this. Walking out. If the Avengers can assemble from across the galaxy,
somebody's writing their lines. I mean, wasn't that just boring? I mean, well, I think it's starting to get tired of me. This is what we're gonna do. This is gonna motivate people. While you look at Trump rallies, thousands of people coming up, lining up. I mean, every single day he's hammering the rally, and we have Joe Biden with the cap for the previous 4 days until the debate. And if it took him that much time to have that type of performance last night, they need to fire the debate coach and they need to fire Joe Biden. He should not be occupying or attempting to run for the president of the United States of America. If you have this much scandal lying on top of your head, you should probably take a step back and say, wait a minute, maybe I should look at this a different time. Oh crap, he's going to be too old. He's going to be way too old. But let's talk about Joe Biden and his whoppers. Okay? Let's talk about Joe Biden and his whoppers. His whoppers was as dry as last night with Hollywood. I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I'm looking at the little Hollywood squares with Kamala Harris, and I'm like, that's dry. That's drier than a wooden sandwich. Please add some mayo. But Joe Biden, the whoppers that he told us last night, if you guys like Burger King, I'm going to tell you what, you would have loved Burger King last night because Joe Biden was telling some whoppers here. I have 11 whoppers that Joe Biden told on the campaign trail, and with a straight face. Over at Breitbart, here are 11 of Joe Biden's biggest debate lies. President Trump trounced Joe Biden during the first debate Thursday night in Tennessee.
It wasn't even close. Biden was looking at his watch. He was too. He was like,
another question, another one. And so Trump was filming him. No doubt about it. So he was looking at his watch. He couldn't wait to get the hell out of the ring. So Joe Biden and his whoppers, I want to talk about that a little bit too. Because, we ate the wooden sandwich and stuff like that. But Joe Biden told a few whoppers, and if you ever had a taste for a delicious burger, like Joe Biden, he had tons of them tonight. Let's call him Burger King. He was the king. He was passing out whoppers. These lies were huge. And the crowd was eating. You smell like burgers in here. I guarantee you Trump was hungry too. He went to McDonald's afterwards. Over at Breitbart, Nolte said, here are 11 of Joe Biden's biggest debate lies. President Trump trounced Joe Biden during their final debate Thursday night in Tennessee. It wasn't even close. Biden, looking at his watch, he couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. I'm telling you guys, he couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. I'm also told the debate took place in the middle of a Matlock marathon. I was looking at my watch because I didn't want it to end. Like, please, let's go. You put boundaries around filmmakers like Michael Cimino. You get these classics like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot and Deer Hunter, great movies. You take away those boundaries, you get Heaven's Gate. You put those boundaries around Dennis Hopper and you get a classic like Easy Rider. You take away those boundaries and you get a disaster like The Last Movie. Trump is an artist. He needs boundaries. Threatening to mute his microphone helped him and hurt Biden. That is so true. They thought that President Trump was going to be restricted because muting his mic. President Trump kicked in and it's like, I'm going to be presidential. I'm going to use discipline because he knew that deal, the art of making the deal, it comes down to timing. You have to know when to fold them. You guys remember that, the late Kenny Rogers? Know when to hold them. You have to know when to walk away. Joe Biden was trying to run away tonight. President Trump, he knew when to lay the cards down on the table and he was poised. So it says right here, threatening to turn off his microphone, he had those boundaries, so President Trump locked into business mode. Okay, so the first debate before Trump interrupted him is the only debate tactic Biden has. Go back and forth with his 2012 vice president debate with Paul Ryan. Trump doesn't need to interrupt to win a debate. He's a gifted debater. The threat to mute the microphone took away Biden's only go-to move, forced Trump to win. Okay, now, remember last debate that we had? He was cutting in all the time. They're like, he never gets to let me talk. Trump let him talk. And so as Joe Biden's in there talking, he was like, well, I will not ban fracking. I am against banning fracking. This noose is coming out. And I refuse to ban fracking. Fracking is not my thing. And all of a sudden the noose is on his neck. I will not. He started choking himself. Joe Biden choked himself out tonight. So let's get a few of these whoppers here real quick. You guys are going to love this. No one lost their insurance on Obamacare. That is not true. 2011, I lost my Kaiser insurance. I was fine with my insurance. My insurance was okay. I was okay with my insurance, but it was gone because they took away my insurance. Fact, that's why I did not. One single person's private insurance will not lose, what Biden said, their insurance under my plan, nor did they under Obamacare. They did not lose their insurance unless they chose and wanted to go somewhere else. That's not true. Fact, up to 6 million people lost their private insurance plan after Obamacare became law of the land. And the reason that people lost their private insurance is the most immoral thing about Obamacare. Obamacare outlawed and actually made it illegal for private insurance to offer private plans that do not live under the Obamacare's lofty platforms. So that right there was one whopper. Whopper number 2. Okay, America was cozy with Hitler. Biden said this: we had a good relationship with Hitler. In fact, before he invaded Europe and the rest of Europe. This is the fact here, ladies and gentlemen. You guys want the facts? How about the facts? The fact is this is such a ludicrous lie. It is hardly worth debunking. Franklin Roosevelt was the president during the time of Hitler's rise. When Roosevelt became the president in 1932, Hitler became Germany's chancellor in 1934. Hear me out here. The president has a sole authority over foreign policy, and at no time has Roosevelt was fooled by Hitler. He certainly tried to stop and stay out of European wars, and that's like every one of us. So once again, peddling lies. Whopper number 3. I never opposed fracking. Guys, we already talked about that. And Trump put it on the site out there. Whopper number 4. He says, I didn't oppose Trump's China ban to travel to China. Lie. Nancy Pelosi, Dr. Fauci, all these guys right there. Oh, you guys are moving too fast. You got a problem. Don't do this or whatever. That is a total lie too. Number 5. Illegal aliens show up for asylum hearings after being caught and released. Biden said this: the catch and release program. You know what he was talking about there. In fact, you and the family came across and they're arrested. In fact, they're giving a date to show up for their hearing. They were released, and guess what? They showed up for their hearings. Fact, guys. Let's talk about the facts here, because Joe Biden once again is peddling those lies. Here's what the fact is here. Catch and release is America's gobsmackingly stupid policy for catching illegal aliens and let them off the country. Remember, they let them off the country. Come back. You came into the country. You bad little illegal alien. Oh, excuse me. You bad little undocumented person. What kind of craziness is this? How do you run a country? How do you stay together and stay a cohesive unit of American society and fighting for the whole world? You can't. You let people derelicts just come into your country, so the catch and release was full. Trump stopped that. Whopper number 6. Raising the minimum wage does not hurt anyone, guys. We ain't got to talk about that. Has Biden ever gave a payroll? Has Biden ever built a business? Has Biden ever built any type of big corporation? No, he hasn't, so he doesn't know. Whopper number 7. No one brought up Biden's troubling Ukraine conflicts of interest during the impeachment. No one brought. Biden says this right here. Nothing was unethical. Here's what the deal was in regard to Ukraine. He had the whole question about whether or not, because it was on the board. I later learned of Burisma, the company, and somehow I had done nothing wrong. I had done something wrong. Yes, every single solitary person, when he was going through his impeachment, testified under oath that who worked for him and said I did my job impeccably. I carried out U.S. policy, and no one, not a single solitary person right here said was out of line. Not one single thing. Number 1. Here's the facts, ladies and gentlemen. You ready for the facts? You guys ready to want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Again, we have the fact, the videotape proving that this is a lie. The whole lot of people involved with the impeachment were concerned with Hunter Biden looting Ukraine while he and his dad was vice president. Was the Obama administration was the point person. He was concerned. Obama was. They never did anything about it. So he's giving whopper after whopper after whopper. Number 8, Trump never told Putin to stop meddling in American elections. Lie again. Fact. Oh, this isn't China Joe, whose family received $3.5 million, right, from the mayor of Moscow. Precious, he says that. He knows damn well that Trump has to hold Putin accountable. Trump has done nothing but hold Putin accountable, Iran accountable. So what are we going to do about it, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to listen to the lies of Biden and look what the emails, the damning, or what Trump called it, the laptop from hell. It's a laptop from hell. It has all types of things on there. And Hunter Biden is caught right in the middle of this whirlwind and he can't escape. You guys go over to Breitbart and read the rest, just like the emails of the Hunter plan and all the stuff like that. And that's good stuff. But here's the thing though, guys. We want to cover a lot of these quick topics and nail them for you guys real quick. And not just that. You've seen the video. You understand what you're seeing. They try to tell you, don't believe what your lying eyes see. What am I, like 12 years old? No, what am I, like 3 years old? You're hiding a little puppet. Don't do that to me. And what we're going to do as we take this country back and win and go on to incredible exceptionalism, we'll be the one and the light that's shining in this world as a beacon of hope. And so glad to have you guys here on this Thursday on debate night, the final debate, guys. Let's go on. Let's win. Let's make America great. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday. See ya.